Hi there, this is Alex of PNW Bible Journaling here on the Creative Retreat YouTube channel with the new April 2021 Clothed in Humility Faith Art Box. This devotional and kit is one that I am so excited about because one of the main passages explored in the devotional from Colossians has been a life-altering passage for me. And I love that it comes with a stamp set this month, 4x6, and this hanger is to die for with all these little words that you can put on the hanger or the stencil. This is an add-on. It's hard to see, but it's the hanger with, it's almost like what you would use for dress pants, where there's lots of bars that go across, and it's in the sticker set with all the traits of humility and listed on it. So I see so much potential with that. And then 2 sets of alphas, this darling bow clip, and the polka dots are what inspired today's entry. So I want to dive into this content. This says spirit on it. Kind of hard to see there, but the nice thing about the hanger on this particular stamp set is that it's really versatile. Again, these polka dots, I just am like swooning over them. Several passages up at the top of the devotional. I think there's 4 different ones listed, and then that are used right in the devotional. And then I for sure see a connection to other passages like they will know them by your fruit. They will know you by your fruit and that kind of thing. So there's actually a lot of ways I can see this kit going very far, including with the reflection questions. One of them in particular brought me back to that moment in time when this passage in Colossians chapter 3, which this entry is a Creative Retreat entry from the kit called Amazing Grace, and I'll link that below. It says Always Choose Love. It's the title of the video. And since I had that entry on the next page, I'm just flipping to the first chapter of Colossians, and I'm going to journal here. I was in total luck that the color scheme kind of went with some of the bleed through pink spots there. I'm using some Danielle Smith watercolors. This is a Try It Dot sample card that I got from By the Well for God. It just lets you try a bunch of new colors. And then this is a watercolor pen, so the water is right inside the pen itself. And I'm just grabbing pinks, testing out colors that I felt like went with the colors of the kit. There's that kind of rose-colored sticker, and then there's the wine plum baroque is the color, ink pad color. And it opens the door for a variety of pinks, almost like sunsetty. And so I just grabbed a bunch of different pinks off of that sample set. I did settle into one that I liked the best, which was kind of one that had some iridescent to it. The nice thing about this set of watercolors is it just lets you try all the Danielle Smith watercolors. There's 66 colors you can try. I primarily used iridescent ruby, and on the watercolor sample card, it tells you the number. So if you end up loving a color, you can order it. And then I didn't even let it dry. I just grabbed my black acrylic paint, and I'm using a brush. This is thick paint. If you want more splatter, less dot, I suggest adding a little bit of water. But I wanted that kind of polka dot look. Got to get something behind it. I almost forgot to do that. And then I just tapped my brush. I wanted big polka dots and little ones. The more paint you have on it, the bigger they'll be. And if it's not watered down, they'll be bigger. I was just trying to get kind of a random splatter polka dot effect. And then I'm just setting it aside to let it dry. Now, I am going to show you 5 different ways. Oh, this is the ink pad I'm using from Creative Retreat. It's called Plum Baroque. This stamp pad is from the Amazing Grace set. This one here is from a Creative Retreat set as well, which I'll link below. And then there's a third one that I tried, and I'm basically looking for the word love to fit on the hanger. This one is called Prepare Him Room. So I just grabbed all the stamp sets I had by Creative Retreat that had the word love on them, and I'm actually going to show you 5 different ways to attempt to get just the word love on the page. So this one is love from the Amazing Grace set, and I ended up just using some loose paper I had a small piece of scrap paper, lined it up with the word above. I'm also trying not to ink the top part, but that's kind of hard with this particular shape of a stamp. This is just loose paper. So I called this the loose paper method. It doesn't work perfectly. The paper kind of wiggled and then I couldn't get the E and then I laid it down again. It was kind of a mess. So it wasn't super easy to just use a small piece of scrap paper. And then I just am using, and both these were done in black ink. And now I'm going to switch over with a new method of where I'm taping the paper down with some washi tape. So I called this the fixed paper method. And I just taped with some extra washi I had that loose piece of scrap paper kind of in place over the words that I did not want to ink. And I did leave the paper in place when I went to stamp. I tried to not get ink on it. It was kind of tricky. You could try fixing the paper there and then taking it off too. And I did this with the plum color. It's kind of hard to see here in the video, but there is a nice contrast between the black and the plum. That worked a little better. And then I decided I would switch over to this Prepare Him Room Love word, but there are 3 words there. So one choice would be to bend the acrylic stamp and cut it. And right as I started to do it, I changed my mind. I like these 3 words together and I run the risk of losing the stamp, like literally the physical stamp losing it, or cutting it in a way that ruins some of the other words. So here I am trying the next method, which is to actually put washi tape over the words that I didn't want to ink. And then yes, there gets ink. You have to really make sure your ink's on there good and act quickly because this ink can dry. And I quickly and carefully pulled the washi off of the stamp itself and then stamped it. I love how this one turned out. Not only do I love the shape of the word, but I also love the way that that method worked best. So I tried it again with the other word, didn't work with the fixed paper method. And again, I had some bleed from up above. It's not as surefire. So to me, so far, the best method, that fixed paper method, I got it working there, but my favorite was the washi one. And I actually liked the Prepare Him Room font better. So I wanted to try this last final method, which is just using a loose leaf piece of paper, lining it up and stamping, cha-ching. It also worked great. So there are 5 quick ways to try it. And then I was left with the bottom 2 loves turned out the best. One from Prepare Him Room and one from the Amazing Grace stamp set. And I got just the word love. Those are my 2 favorites. So I'm cutting them off and then I'm going to toy with them on the page just as kind of like almost like what it could look like or where I should put it, sort of as a stencil almost. Like where should I set this? Where should I stamp this? I am usually not this particular. I usually just wing it more, but this one, because the stamps had so many other words on it, I wanted to try those methods. So I landed on liking the Prepare Him Room word better. And then I also ended up liking the washi tape on the stamp the best. It gives you the most precision. It does work to put your loose leaf paper, but with this particular acrylic stamp, I had a word above and a word below that I needed to cover, so washi tape made it a lot easier. Here I'm using the acrylic block and the samples I made to kind of try to figure out where I should put the stamp on the page. I end up kind of choosing that more blank spot up above. I did not think I was going to go that high on the page. I thought I was going to keep it down below, but since those bleed through spots add a little bit of pink up at the top, I decided I could extend the entry a little higher, and I love how that turned out. And then here I have the message paraphrase just open on my Bible app, because when I read this passage and it really spoke to me, it was actually because I was preparing to speak on it and I compared the passage in the message paraphrase. And there was a section that stood out to me right around verse 17 of Colossians 3 that says that love is your basic all-purpose garment. I got the words out exactly so I would know how to spell the words backwards with all purpose. And I remember back, this is going to date me, but in the days when you wore a white camisole with some lace peeking out the top and the bottom of every shirt. And it was what was in style, and you wore it every single day. You even had to have multiples of it. It was my basic all-purpose garment. And I had this visual of this, and it just stood out to me. And then when I think of love being that basic all-purpose garment that you wear every single day, it just created this really important message in my heart that love is what we are commanded in the greatest commandment to receive and to give to others. And so I wanted again to mark that particular sentiment here. I actually wrote the scripture from the Message paraphrase on the page itself. This is just a paraphrase of verse 17. So, chosen by God for this new life of love, that runs into the hanger, dress in the wardrobe God picked out for you. And then it skips down on the bottom to verse 17. Love is a basic all-purpose garment. Never be without it. You saw me date stamp the bottom, and then I'm jumping up to the top. I'm toying with a bunch of different tabs that I had on hand from a black and white Illustrated Faith tabby set. I'll link that down below. And I'm just using some Mono Tombow glue to adhere it to a tab that was actually already there, plain white. And then I'm using two different washies, a black and white background one that's got more black, and then a black and white one that has a background that's more white. I wanted to bring a bit more black to the page, which is why I ended up choosing the black tab and this black washi. And then I also put it right underneath the hanger to almost act like a bar. Originally, I was going to put that love hanger hanging off the bottom of the word Colossians. And since I didn't do that and I used the sticker from the set, I wanted it to look like it was hanging off of something. So this looks like it took a long time because I experimented so much with the stamping, but it was actually a really quick, easy entry. I do highly suggest that you let the watercolor and the acrylic dry fully before you do any writing or stamping. And otherwise, it's a pretty quick sticker-based entry. I hope you are encouraged, and as I leave you with this passage from the Message paraphrase, be blessed and be encouraged to wear love as your basic all-purpose garment. Colossians 3:12 through 17. So, chosen by God for this new life of love, dress in the wardrobe God picked out for you. Compassion, kindness, humility, quiet strength, discipline. Be even-tempered, content with second place, quick to forgive an offense. Forgive as quickly and completely as the Master forgave you. And regardless of what else you put on, wear love. It's your basic all-purpose garment. Never be without it. Let the peace of Christ keep you in tune with each other, in step with each other. None of this going off and doing your own thing. And cultivate thankfulness. Let the word of Christ, the message, have the run of the house. Give it plenty of room in your lives. Instruct and direct one another using good common sense. And sing your hearts out to God. Let every detail in your lives, words and actions, whatever, be done in the name of the Master, Jesus, thanking God the Father every step of the way. This is Alex of PNW Bible Journaling signing off of the Creative Retreat YouTube channel. You can subscribe, comment below, and also find all the links for what I've used in the video today.